Aloha, friends and neighbors. Rollin Frost here, Kona Astrologer. We're going to do show 1148, cover the first week in December. A very strange week. I got a lot to tell you. A lot of this show is somewhat speculative. I'm going to present some information, that I didn't get from doing personal charts. And so it's a little speculative. But then I've been doing some of that lately, haven't I? First of all, here's an apology. Hurricane was a word I shouldn't have used. Every time it went off in the charts, what we had was little mini hurricanes. We had, rain and turbulent winds, but not hurricanes. And I finally figured out what was going on. And that is that Venus here was opposing Uranus and the node squaring it. And Venus, I didn't give her credit. She's very powerful right now because she's in her morning phase. I'd forgotten my Mayan. And when Venus is a morning star, she's evil and really tough. And when she's they call her wasp star. And in the evening, she's very positive. But unfortunately for us, right now, Venus started October 25th in her morning star phase. She's evil. She's the wasp star. There's 5 of them, 5 different configurations. One, she kills old people. Another one, she kills babies. Another one, she kills a wheat crop. Another one, anyway. She's going to be in her morning star phase. The Mayans would bolt up their doors and block their windows. They wouldn't let the light of morning star Venus get on them. She goes positive, but not until mid-August next year. So Venus is misbehaving. She's very strong, and she's the one that held back the hurricane prediction and toned it down to small storms. So my apologies to you. I just saw the Uranus on the astrocartography and said, whoops. And I didn't realize the square to the nodes and the Venus opposition and how powerful Venus would be. So I got a lot of interesting things to talk about today. Let's get along with the sky mirror and find out what's going on. I drew up a chart for you. You can see this. There's the Grand Cross with the nodes and Venus and Uranus. So we still have a lot of disruption going on. If you're on a Thursday night show, which at the end of November, it's a very turbulent time. And here's Neptune and the Sun squaring Neptune Thursday night. Here could be rain, here could be, bad smells, problems with liquids. If you're lucky, you get organized Thursday morning, the 29th, with the trine to Saturn. But, everybody's angry because here's Mars and Jupiter lined up. And everybody's in a hurry, and too much hurry to get organized. So there's confusion and you lose things Thursday night. I would be cool and try to do as little as possible. Moon's in Virgo here, a mutable earth sign. On Friday, on the 30th, gets better. Before lunch, there's a trine to Pluto. You investigate more thoroughly and you start to understand things better. And then you can talk about them after dinner, late at night, 9, 10 o'clock, because here's a nice sextile to Mercury. And Saturday, December 1st, the moon shifts into Libra, a cardinal air sign. Things get more active and more intellectual. Starts with a nice sextile to Jupiter about lunchtime, but it doesn't last long because here's a square to Saturn. It lasts for an hour or so. Aha, now I see it clear. Then Saturn comes along and says, wait a minute, no money, no time, limitations. Yeah, and that'll take you the afternoon to get over until there's a sextile to the Sun late at night, 9, 10 o'clock here, Saturday night. You get a plan together. Good for you. Sunday, the moon's still in Libra, cardinal air sign, and you get increasingly panicky. Here's 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the moon squares Pluto, and too many bugs, too many mosquitoes, stuff like that. Don't like it much. Power and control issues. Monday, the morning is still in Libra. And here's this weird stuff from Uranus and Venus and the nodes. And the moon's going to go by Venus before lunch. And there's Wasp Star is out raising the dickens. And opposing Uranus, you could have trouble with electronics and things like that, and squaring the nodes. So Monday, very unpredictable, very unpredictable. It settles down late Monday night. Here's a nice little sextile to Saturn, and you get organized. And on Tuesday, December 4th, you're on the last of that new moon that trined Neptune. And so there's inspiration here on Tuesday. You know, after you get organized Monday night, here's the Sun and Pluto and Mercury, and there's a new moon point in the middle of Tuesday. So Tuesday could be quite nice, very inspiring. And Neptune is behaving very well. So you could have inspiration, religion, art, music, hooray! Now this is the last of that good new moon. I'll explain later. The new moon at 15 Scorpio that happened here on, the 5th of November, gave us a whole month of good Neptune. And, hope you appreciate it, because there's another moon coming up, which is the new moon on Thursday, December 6th. Well, let me not get ahead of myself. Here's Wednesday. The moon is going by Mercury in the middle of the day. A lot of good talk, a lot of communication. But here after lunch, here's that full moon square, which isn't so hot, so it gets a little wobbly Wednesday afternoon. Moon's in Sagittarius now. It's no longer in Scorpio. Scorpio was a fixed water sign. There was some stability, especially on Tuesday the 4th, inspiration. But once you go into Sagittarius, it's a mutable fire sign. Things are changeable, yeah? And you're going into another new moon. Now this new moon squares Neptune. Yeah, so there's confusion and delusion, smoke and mirrors. Besides that, we've got a trouble with Neptune here because Mars is moving up to hit Neptune. And when the fiery, angry planet Mars hits Neptune, there could be fires and fights and oil fires. And this is the start of some angriness that seems uncontrollable almost. So Thursday is a new moon. It's a bad new moon. Don't like it at all. You had a really good month with Neptune. Now you're going to have a tough month with Neptune. I made some notes here. Thursday, December 6th. The moon conjuncts the sun, squares Mars and Neptune. Bad new moon. Oil and gas fires. Violent. Fanaticals. A lot of people are going to get fanatical. A lot of Neptune people kind of had their way, and everything was going just, it's really great, isn't it? Oh yeah, we got everything the way we wanted. And then when you get to the 6th, the new moon squares Neptune, frustration, anger. And when Mars hits it, oh boy, violence. So we could have violent fanatics here taking off on us, and we have a month of it. So here's your first warning shot, and it's on Thursday. And watch out for hot things and sharp things, fires, and any kind of hydrocarbons and liquids. If you smell, is that propane? Track it down, because things can happen here on Thursday with the square to Mars and Neptune, and a new moon that is not happy with Neptune. Who's Neptune? Oh, priests, artists, doctors, musicians, drugs, famous people. So there's going to be some fanatical stuff. Thursday starts, goes for a month. On Friday, you're still feeling the burn. I mean, kind of literally from Thursday. So things won't settle down through Friday till you get to real late Friday night. Here's finally, this is midnight. And here's a trine to Uranus, little brotherhood. The media chips in, helps us out. Here's a sextile to Venus. There's a little love around, little brotherhood. But I don't think it's fully the answer to what happened Thursday. It's just a little calming and some perspective. On Saturday, the moon shifts into Capricorn on the 8th, and that's a cardinal earth sign. Things settle down and get more practical. And here's old Saturn, and Saturday afternoon, the moon's going by Saturn. Get organized, okay? And think about all the things that could spill and burn and make bad smells, and get into your prevention mode, because that's what this is about. Saturday night, Sunday morning, here's the sextile to Neptune and Mars, and you can get out Sunday morning and fix some things, and look out for the hots and the sharps, and liquids and alcohol, drunk, fanatical people, you know. That's what we're dealing with here. By the time you get to Sunday afternoon on the 9th, the moon goes by Pluto, and there's power and control here, and the police are out, and it's a little panicky, but you know, it's probably a good thing at this point. Yeah, Monday morning, the moon is going by the south node. We need help. And here's a sextile to Mercury. Kids are going to help, believe it or not. Yeah. So Neptune is the problem. Reason he's a problem, he's going to stop in the sky and go direct on November 25th. Mercury goes direct on December 6th. Yeah, there's a new moon that kind of sucks at 15 Sag on December 7th. So this first week in December, look out. Things are happening. Now, when I look at Neptune, what I see are hydrocarbons, because I worked in that industry. And when I see, here's fanatical people maybe trying to do some mischief, I could see refinery fires, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, gas explosions. On the body side, here could be medical infections, Mars hitting Neptune. And so, difficult time, okay? Starting Wednesday, going through Thursday and Friday. Not easy, but Neptune is the culprit here. Neptune is the guy we got to keep our eye on. The reason is we had such a good month. You know, with the 15 Scorpio new moon trine Neptune. Easy to pray, easy to open your sensitive side, lovely colors, have a lot of faith. It was very, very nice. Well, look out, because that music is going to turn into stuff that's much too loud after Thursday, December 6th, new moon, squaring Neptune. You won't be happy with the drugs and the doctors and the pharmaceuticals and all these people spinning tales we're supposed to believe. Nope. So we had a good Neptune for a month. There's my notes right there. And now we're going to have a bad Neptune for a month. And so you can trust your liquids, your priest and your doctors. And now you can't after Thursday's new moon. Now, that being said, I got a lot of interesting information to share with you. Some of this will be speculative. Couldn't help it. And again, my apologies for shouting hurricane so loud. I just didn't realize the power of that morning star Venus holding back Neptune and the nodes squaring it. And it minimized Neptune. I mean, I had my share of electronic problems, but I always managed to fix them after a little bit. And so I should just stop using the word hurricane. I've been caught in this before. There's a storm. There's wind and there's water and there's possible electrical outages and stuff. And I won't even say the word no, don't talk. Don't say that. Because everybody will say, he was wrong. I was wrong. It wasn't a hurricane. Nope. But every time it showed up, there was activity of the nature I described. Here's my Rollin Frost. Here's Neptune stopping up here, and your sense of smell will go way up. and you'll be more dramatic. But look what I've done with December. Here's my notes, all these circled planets and this yellow band. So this first week in December can be very difficult. And word to the wise, it's so complicated, it's hard for me to interpret. I wish I could line it out for you exactly, but unfortunately, it's complicated. Now, I want to give you some rather arcane information. Here we go. Okay, here's some notes. As to the timing of this Neptune trouble, it's going to peak out November 25th when Neptune stops in the sky. But you had a good new moon on November 6th and trined Neptune and said, oh, great, religion, art, music, far out. Goes for a month until December 7th. And then you have a bad new moon squaring Neptune and Mars, fires, fights, all kind of stuff. Lasts for a month. And you won't be out of it until you get to January 6th. Then there's another new moon. This one's at 15 Capricorn. Or is that Virgo? Capricorn. Anyway, this new moon likes Neptune. And so you'll have a good month for Neptune from the 1st of January to the 1st to February 4th. And then you'll give up on Neptune. So we're having new moons hit Neptune. Good month, bad month, good month, bad month. Yeah, it's not easy. What is Neptune? I'll tell you one thing it is. It's oil and gas, pipelines, hydrocarbons, and oil companies and the drug companies. Yeah. Generally, you get about 20 days on either side of a station. So that was just, 4 days back from where you're at when Neptune stopped. And you could smell all the smells. Started getting a little fanatical, huh? And then we have a new moon come in on December 6th that squared it. And Mars hits it. And the SHIT kind of hits the fan. But when it stops, you're still in the good zone that happened from the new moon from November 6th to December 6th. So the station itself might have been very inspiring for you. You know, when you talk to Spirit or to Jesus or to God, speak out loud. Those entities are real. Yes, religion is real. It's just that it got kind of distorted in the age of Pisces. And, you know, I worked hard on the chart of Jesus, and he was a very Aquarian person. Didn't he look like a hippie wandering around in the hills barefoot? Yeah, he wasn't a priest. That was the Pharisees and Sadducees. He wasn't Neptune. He disrupted Neptune. He didn't like Neptune. And I've come to the same kind of conclusion, is that Neptune is sneaky. You know, that Mayans said, smoke and mirrors, Tezcatlipoca. And I don't care whether he's a priest or a doctor or a movie star, but he's probably got his hand in your pants for money or for sex. And half of these Neptune people, look out, you know, look out, Neptune is sneaky. So I started looking around. I want to see where the Neptune problems might be. I looked at, not my President Trump's chart, and I got his progress chart around the edge, and I see here's a progress moon, but it moves about 1 degree per month. And it's not going to hit his rising sign for another 7 months, and then he's in trouble. And he hasn't got any markers here at 13 degrees. Well, there's Chiron, and he just punishes wounded healers, and he might lose some money during this time. But he's still flying kind of high. Progressed ascendant sextile him is rising. Just got to wait about 7 months for things to get started with him. So he's not going to be the source of this problem. So I went to the USA chart. I mean, he could make problems with a lot of people that aren't his personally. I don't know if you remember this, but this was a test I offered. You know, when the ascendant opposed Mars, and we pick out somebody to get angry at. You know, in June, in March, back in December. Here's Mr. Bolton going off on North Korea. Economic tariffs, war with China. I don't know that this is going to be a regular war. Iran, North Korea, China, whatever it is. but I've got 3 charts on the U.S. at 2:05 a.m., 2:06 a.m., and 2:07. And this is the one, I think, the 2:06 a.m. that's most likely. So I'm still doing the research to pin this down right to the minute. Okay? And so let's take a look at the U.S. chart. And what do we see? First of all, this new moon is on December 6th. And, you know, right away I'm wondering, gee, December 7th is Pearl Harbor. Yeah, a time of trauma in the U.S. So I begin to look at the U.S. chart. And on December 6th, on that new moon, it squares Neptune and Mars. Some weird things start popping up. Like here's transiting Jupiter. Now Jupiter makes things larger. And he went into the 7th house. And on the 2:06 a.m. USA government chart, transiting Jupiter is exactly opposing the rising sign. Look at that, 622. Jupiter's at 624. So the enemy here at this time on the new moon is Jupiter. Jupiter can be lawyers, professors, wise men, big fat people, rich people. It doesn't look, Jupiter is unlikely to be somebody like North Korea. But it could be somebody like the Saudis or the rich people, or I don't know. But this new moon here is in the 7th house of partners and open enemies for the USA. And this begins a time, Jupiter's going to take a whole year to go through here. And we're going to have adversaries. I guess you could figure that the Democrats won the House, huh? But that's a big deal. And the fact that this is so exact really puts me on alert. Yes. What else is going on? Well, the enemy of the U.S. is Pluto. Pluto opposing the U.S. Mercury, because we're Gemini rising. But this, you know, adversaries, you could say, oh, rich people are going to come and be our partners. I don't know about that. I don't know. But I know that this new moon from December 6th to January 4th or so is going to be all about adversaries. And they're going to step up and speak the truth about the USA and what we've done. And Trump is not known for making great deals. If you look at his background, he comes in and says, oh yeah, I'll give you this and this and this and this, and he doesn't come through. It kind of looks like Jupiter. I'm told this morning, on the 7th of November, that North Korea is really ticked off at the U.S. Evidently we, you know, and it's the same thing is happening in other countries, you know, where we're going after people and we're not maybe doing it in a justice way. Okay, let's take a look at the progress chart for the USA government. And I worked hard on this government chart. And here's the progress chart around the natal chart. And the 3 things that are important I go after on your chart when I do work, or anybody's, is the progression of the ascendant, the rising sign. Here it is. The progression of the midheaven, the public person. Here it is. And the progression of the sun. Now all these guys move 1 degree per year counterclockwise. But here's the one I'm really watching, because here's the progressed ascendant, and it's in the 7th house of partners and open enemies. And as it moves up here, only 1 degree per year, it hits first the opposition to Mars. And supposedly that was about 8 months ago or something. And then it squares Neptune. Now the U.S. chart has Mars squaring Neptune. We have a weird temper. We go off and fight battles in bad information. Yeah, I mean, the CIA has started every war we've ever been in. And when you have this progressed ascendant hitting the square, boy, Sorry for the military. And for Neptune, who is Neptune? When I looked at the astrocartography of Neptune, it appears to me that it's a line running up the west coast, and I expect some trouble there. Let's take a look. Okay, if I just focus in on sabotage of a Neptune nature, refineries, pipelines, oil and gas. Here's the Neptune line, runs right up through the Bay Area, through Portland and Seattle. And this line is where there's likely to be some Neptune trouble, fires, pollution, maybe ocean stuff. I'm not sure what it is. Smoke and mirrors, huh? But that's the area I'm concerned about. And here's the timing of it. See, here's Neptune, stopped at 1340, still at 1340 here. Here's Mars in Pisces moving up, and this yellow band is where Mars hits Neptune, and the hydrocarbons start the fire or the saboteurs or whatever problems we're going to have. But Neptune can be a bit of a fanatic, a religious nut, or a druggie or somebody like that. When Mars hits him, he can't control. He gets angry, and he's going to do things. And that's the way it looks to me. And so we had a general area, we got a general timing, and you'll see this in your own life too. When you start spilling things, and you suddenly got a little uncontrollable anger, well, you probably got some planets at 13 degrees of Pisces, or the other mutable signs of Virgo, Gemini, or Sagittarius, anything around 12, 13, 14 degrees. And you're going to feel this. So you smell something bad, go check it out, okay? I'm probably just being superstitious because the new moon's December 6th. But December 7th, a day will live in infamy. Remember that? And fanatics tend to do things on days like this. And we got a fanatic who's about to go off in a huge anger trip and do something. And we're going to see it as an attack. Don't know why. Jupiter opposing this. He thinks he's got the truth, whoever the fanatic is. You a Bible fanatic? The three wise men were three astrologers. We know their names, what cities they came from. They saved Jesus, bankrolled him, got him out of town, and then gave him an education in Alexandria. Hooray for the wise men. I'm not perfect, but I need help. Please donate.